She's getting food. I put in laundry, doing all our Saturday chores.
I got an oil change Monday. I got to drop my truck off for, and then I've
Hmm.
got some friends in town for the week, and then funny enough, I'm going to the airport Friday, and my family's been going to New Jersey, and so I'm going to be traveling the same time at the same airport, so it all kind of works out.
Okay. You just send them in one direction while you go another. Okay.
Exactly. That way it's fair. How
I'm
was your
still trying to
Thanksgiving?
figure out if I'm going to drive up Friday morning or Thursday evening.
Hmm.
I was seeing how many people were going to be there Friday morning if they needed me to take them anywhere, and that would determine if I needed to drive up on Thursday evening or not.
If I'm not mistaken, you're in Dallas, right?
No, I'm down in San Antonio, so I'm about 5 hours
Oh,
away.
oh, okay. Oh, okay, San An. Okay. I
Yeah,
was in
so
San Antonio last year. I was south of San Antonio at a gun range.
okay.
Yeah.
I've been Yeah, if I wanted it to be convenient to me, I would have set it up in San Antonio, but I was hoping to have some venues to show some people. And so far, I only have one that I can really endorse out of the
Mm.
venues that have sent back proposals.
Well, the good thing about Dallas is it's one plane hop for most cities, so it should be pretty easy for folks
Yeah,
to head over to, which is good.
yeah, that's the big thing there. As I've been doing convention proposals there, I've noticed a lot of nickel and diming, a lot of price increases the past few years.
Mm.
The whole industry is very, very tough.
I would imagine Florida's got to be the same. I mean, we've just priced ourselves out of the market. I mean, it's just been so crazy.
Yeah, we've had the same difficulty at other venues because they were trying to Vegas, and Vegas has been in a lot of YouTubers talk about it, the price of how much Vegas has gone up on
Mm.
different things, and apparently it's the same for conventions.
Yeah, I've heard Vegas is like a ghost town, which is I haven't been to Vegas. I mean, the only time I go to Vegas is whenever I'm at a convention. I think there was a Wendy's convention every 4 years there. Um, and then I was there for my first LNC meeting in 2016 was in Vegas, which was a lot of fun. I
Okay.
stayed in Chinatown for $40 a night, and I flew Spirit Airlines. So that's how I thrifted my way through that term. But yeah, it's gotten so expensive. I mean, even people coming to Key West, it's like at some point I'm almost like, why? How do you even afford to come down here? It's $400 a night, maybe $300 a night if you're lucky in season. And if you've got a family of five, you're spending at least $1,000 a day. I mean, it's gotten crazy. But I have a feeling the prices might be coming down. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Are we expecting our Bill to be here?
Yeah, you should probably call him
Okay.
because we're here at 10 a.m. because for him. So I've texted him. So I feel like, Mr. Chair, it's on you to call him to ask him where he is.
That is some
Mr. Watkins.
excellent.
Good morning, Mr. Watkins.
Morning.
All right, well, I couldn't get a hold of Bill, and I think we have quorum with the four of us. So I think we'll just go ahead and start. And I did text Pat as well. So good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, November 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern, and this is the meeting of the LNC's Executive Committee. I'll be calling us to order. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready with roll.
13, 14, 44.
Mr. Nicola,
Present?
Mr. Dar,
Here.
Mr. Redpath. Is he here? I am here. Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford. Oop. No, that's not Mr. Ford. Mr. Watkins.
Here.
Mr. Chair, there are 4 present, 2 absent.
All right. We have quorum. We'll now move on to the agenda. There is one item
There's
on
Mr.
the
Redpath.
agenda. Oh,
USAR.
Mr. Redpath.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Mr. Chair, the updated total is 5 present, 1 absent.
all right, excellent. So we have one item on the agenda today. It is a motion to propose an agenda for the next LNC meeting. It would be a recommendation to the board to be considered in Dallas. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Yes. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, we'll move to that motion. So I made a motion to propose a recommended budget. I did send it to everybody. I think it was yesterday, the day before. First off, is there a second to this motion?
I'll second.
Second. Bill, since you're the treasurer, would you be so kind? I don't know if you have it in front of you. Would you like to go over or discuss the proposal at all?
I am trying to open it right now.
Okay.
In my you've got it on the screen. Okay, fair
Okay.
enough.
So just tell me where you need me to go.
All right. Well, might as well start with the revenues. First of all, I want to say right up front, yes, if we'll get to the bottom line here, this is an out of balance budget. It is. You'll see it. We can debate the what to do about that here today, or we can debate it in Dallas or discuss it in Dallas a week from now. I think it would be better to discuss it. This is going to be an LNC adopted document. I think it would be best to discuss this as a full LNC as opposed to just the executive committee. I will say that, first of all, with respect to the budgeted revenues, there are hidden rows here, hidden columns, I should say, here. But we, on the FSC, Jesse Cowart and Doug Nebel and I focused on annual budgeting numbers ultimately. And that's what, in fact, that's what really counts in terms of the operation of the LNC is annual budget numbers. The revenue numbers that sum in column T down to 773,900 are pretty much, for the most part, a continuation of how we are pacing through the first 10 months of 2025. And those are really where those numbers came from. And we, Jesse and Doug agreed that they made reasonable numbers to put in for the revenues. The legal fund obviously is a little bit of money there. I said we might as well put that at 0, but I think Jesse plugged it in at $465. The convention revenue and fundraising was basically developed by Pat Ford. And again, and we discussed on the FSC meetings whether to basically go through that, debate that, bring Pat Ford in. Again, I suggested that this would be something that would be best done in Dallas for the whole LNC to ask questions about this and have Pat talk about the numbers that he has budgeted. But the convention revenue numbers come from Pat Ford. The bequest of $44,300 is solid. That will be an amount of money coming in, I presume, in January from an estate. We took $44,300 in 2025, and we get to take another $44,300 unless that number increases for 2026. I'm not aware that it's going to increase. That's an FEC mandated number, and that will leave just a very low four-digit number of dollars left. And so that we can have maximum flexibility, I think it'd be best to take that into the general fund, and we would do that then in January 2027. As far as the expenses go, it is my recollection, and tell me if you're wrong, I came up with the ballot access petitioning number of $50,000. The other expense numbers, I think, were largely developed with or by Hannah Kennedy and Jesse. It is my understanding that Jesse worked with her on that. So the expense numbers, I basically did the revenue numbers except for the exceptions of what I described. And then you can scroll down, Mr. Secretary.
Before you move on, Mr. Treasurer, I think you need to clarify something that you said a minute ago.
Okay.
Earlier, which was you said there are hidden columns. Before
Yes, it's just monthly. It's just month by month.
You didn't say that part.
Sorry,
you
I
just said there were
apologize.
hidden
I
columns.
apologize for saying that. The hidden columns are simply month by month numbers.
Got a game to watch.
Pardon?
I said you got a game to watch. We got to get through it.
Okay, yes, that's not coming up for an hour and 53 minutes yet. And kickoff probably isn't until 12:12. But in any event, so I apologize for that. I neglected to say that it's the 12 months that are hidden there, and to get us to and of course they sum to the annual numbers in column T. So the convention expense numbers there, 7,200. Again, those came from Pat Ford. All right, so I'm sure he'll be in Dallas to discuss those. And but the other expense numbers largely came from I think input from Hannah Kennedy, and I believe Jesse Cowart worked with her on those. And you can scroll down further, Mr. Secretary. See if there's anything. Okay, now hold on for a second, please. Let's see here. Okay, now I want to point out actually just scroll back up, Mr. Secretary. I just want to go through the columns again, just to point out some things. Okay, the credit card fees number is not a rounded number. Basically, we were running through the first 10 months of this year, the credit card fee expense divided by total revenues. And I thought that was the best number because I presume that pretty much all of our revenues are coming in, not all, but pretty much all by credit card. So we're running a ratio for the first 10 months, 3.79% credit card fees divided by total revenues. So that's where the 44,111 comes from. Let's just see if there's anything else. The $50,000 is a number that I came up with just to let people know. There is an ongoing petition drive in Maryland that is going to need some financial help to get to the finish line from the LNC. I think the LNC, if this drive is going to succeed, I think there's going to have to be an LNC contribution of some sort there. There's a possibility that we may need to chip in Massachusetts, although I don't know that at this point. So I plugged in a $50,000 number on ballot access petitioning expense. I will point out that we had a budget, I believe $70,000 was the budget for ballot access for 2025. We've spent only $10,000 so far in 2025 for ballot access, and that was for the Arkansas drive, which was successfully completed, or at least we think so. Signatures were handed in this past Tuesday. So we've only spent 10 grand on petitioning expense by the LNC in 2025. Then further on down, like I said, convention expense, Pat Ford, you can scroll down, Mr. Secretary. And then, okay, so then we go down. Now I want to point out the travel and meetings, account number 8140, travel and meetings. All right. This is an item that is based on $10,000 per in-person meeting for total expenses. Now, obviously, now that excludes the convention. So this apparently is the assumption that there are going to be 3 in-person meetings in 2026 aside from Grand Rapids. So this is an area I think that could be reduced. I think rather easily, but it's going to be up to the LNC to decide when we're going to meet. The insurance expense, I need to get that line. I plugged in a number of $1,000 there based on actual expenses in lines in 2025. That may be low at this point. Hannah discussed, my understanding is Hannah discussed this with our accountant, Joseph, and I got a message from a signal message from Jesse Cowart saying that, well, we're looking, I think, at a 10 to 15% increase. Of course, I need to flesh that out more, and that number we may amend in Dallas based upon better information. I imagine that that's going to be greatly decreased in 2026 due to no longer owning the building in Alexandria. So this may be a number that is going to have to be changed. I need to hear more, but the expense number so far through 2025 is only a 3-digit number on our financial statements. On down we go, and you can see that, and so it all comes down then to a bottom right now. But unfortunately, the total expenses right now come to $1,433,276, and the income is, or the revenue is listed as income on here. I'd like to call it revenue, is far less than that. So obviously, now, of course, we do have a pile of money right now. We should not, and I'm not saying that's something to blow. It's certainly not. Such a budget would not be fatal to this organization, but I certainly understand that for various reasons, people would not want to have a financial statement that is so out of balance in 2026. And so that means we probably have some decisions to make here. But I actually think that the better place to do this would be for the full LNC to do this in Dallas rather than doing it here today.
Mr. Treasurer, this view that we're looking at, this window, this is on this column, column U. That was the budget proposed
2025
amended for in 2025.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think people get sticker shock there, but the actual, which I haven't looked at it,
the actual year to date, aside from the loss on the building, I was in my last, I want to say the actual year to date, other than the non-cash loss on the building, is negative 40-some thousand dollars. That is a recollection from my report on the October financial statements.
okay. What is your opinion of this budget?
I think it's something that we need to discuss and consider. I think that we probably need to reduce some expenses on here. That's my opinion. What to reduce, I think, is an LNC decision. And I think that yeah, I will leave it at that right now. It is something that we could go back Possibly the FSC could go back and, or I could talk with, I'll be talking with Hannah this coming week for sure. Um, but either we need to, really have a great convention in terms of profitability in Grand Rapids, or obviously increased fundraising. I don't know that it's questionably prudent to put that in the budget right now, but on the expense side, I think we need to take a good close look at things and get input, real-time input, I would say. I don't think Hannah Kennedy will be in Dallas next weekend. I think she'll be available by the phone, Mr. Chair. Is that true?
I believe so. I know she can't travel,
Okay.
but I'm sure I could get her on the phone, especially
Okay.
for the budget piece.
Yeah, I think that part will probably be necessary.
Just to on total 7,200, this right here, this is the expected convention costs.
Correct.
And then
That's the expected convention revenue.
that's the total convention expected revenue.
Right.
Packages are not available yet, correct?
Not to my knowledge. I tried the other day to buy one.
Have we heard any financial, do we know what the current restricted and unrestricted fundraising has been for the convention? Do we have
Well,
that?
I want to be, I think we should be clear about this. I don't understand why I don't know why revenue is listed restricted or unrestricted on here, because when it's recognized, it's all going to be unrestricted. My understanding is that when the cash comes in, all cash that comes in for the convention prior to the convention is sequestered and cannot be used for anything other than convention expenses until all convention expenses have been paid.
Right.
And so that's really a cash flow thing, not a.
I guess my question is, how much revenue has the convention brought in so far?
Well, the convention liability number is, hold on, it's on the balance sheet. Pardon me, I'm trying to find it right now. I want to say it's in the about $27,000 right now is the so-called liability number. Right now, through October 31, deferred convention revenue, which would be cash in the door right now, not recognized as revenue, but on the balance sheet as a liability, $27,132. To the best of my knowledge, that's the number.
So we're not even 10%.
At the moment, apparently not.
I
Closer.
believe it was this week that the packages were supposed to be put online. I'm not sure what the delay is.
When I
Well, I don't know
called
if there's a
Pat,
delay, but
when I called Pat about that a week ago, he said it was coming up within a few days.
That was the understanding I also had, that the packages were coming up in a few days here, and that pre-sales don't really kick off until December, January timeframe here. So we were in the very early sales time. So the tracking is normally low there.
I'll pick it up.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
we
so
haven't.
I would like a comparison then to say what
Hello?
I'm sorry, Sylvia. No. Would like to know from the convention committee. I wish Mr. Ford was here. To know how many rooms we've sold. Because we've been pushing the room block, and I know that we've had quite a few people. And if you're booking your room, you can book your tickets. Even if you don't know who all the speakers and events are going to be, you've already booked the room, you're going, you can go ahead and buy your package too.
I
lost
don't
some-
know this. I don't know the status of the hotel reservations. I've made mine. I can say that.
Yeah, I'm over. I'm 30% of that revenue from my hotel and booth space. So it's not a great spot to be in. Realistically, I mean, it's not like we're going ham here and having, Friday pad thai parties at the office that we don't have anymore. What can we tighten up other than firing staff?
When you look at legal, when you look at ballot access, there's some, I think, what do we budget for
I mean,
legal?
ballot access is only 50,000. That when
I
you're
mean, there's-
talking about a
We're at-
$237,000, $240,000 deficit, 50,000. I mean, I would say that should be project based as opposed to
Mhm.
let's just put in a number.
Mm-hmm.
I've always preferred that, where, hey, Maryland's doing a thing, let's raise the money for Maryland then. And if the money isn't there, then you can come to the LNC and say, hey, can we get a line item increase here to put money into this?
Well, regardless of the budgeting, I mean, well, we can talk ballot access further in Dallas.
Yeah, I just I mean, just for us to be at zero, we either need to figure out a way to increase revenue dramatically, or $240,000 cut.
Well, we
I-
have to increase
it
revenue
does-
because right
It
now,
does say that the budget was from 2025 was almost $200,000, $175,000 deficit. So
we're still bleeding month to month. I also believe we're not incorporating the interest that we're receiving, which is a couple $1,000 a month. Doesn't take up a lot, but it does help. But we still have that bleed. And, some of our monthly fundraising has outpaced our expenses the past few months. But if we just look at what we've raised up till now, year over year, we're still deficit spending. So until the parity project takes full force and fundraising really comes online, we have been somewhat successful at, I think we raised an additional, I don't know, $150,000 in large lump sums. So we're gonna have to look at ways to fundraise next year, and I think that's a part of why the projections are so low. Is and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but we didn't really do anything to say, look, yeah, we're definitely going to go out there and raise an extra 100, 200,000, whatever it is, or we're expecting an increase in our monthly donations once things kick off, because to some degree, I'm confident we can go out there and raise some money. How much is a matter of, we're going to have to go out there and see, we can make a realistic goal based on what we believe we can fundraise. And that may be a question we have for, we've been a conversation we're having in Dallas, but I don't think we really increased our income line item, so to speak. We just really looked at expenses, and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but
I'm sorry.
I don't think we did much finagling on the budget as far as what our projected income was going to be, optimistically for 2026.
Yeah,
It was mostly expense related.
Yeah, it's pretty much a continuation of 2025 based on the first 10 months of 2026. Now, could 2026 be a better year? Yeah, it's the midterm election year. It's arguable that it could be better. It should be better. That's one thing that we didn't. We could look back and see what historically the pattern has been regarding bumps in revenue in year 2 after a presidential election, opposed to year 1.
What I'd like to, so this was budgeted in 20, this, you call them, this was budgeted. And it is significantly more budgeted, you know, over here.
Right. But we are running below budget and revenue this year. Yes.
What was the actual on these for 2025 year to date?
Well, hold on. Well, leaving out the
Bill, you stop talking.
for the first 10 months, it was about 630. It's about 630, leaving out the JFC commissions, which we obviously should do.
Okay, so this projects, that was the first 10 months.
Correct.
I don't think that number hits anywhere near 900 in 2 months in November, December.
Right.
Or you think maybe another 45? So we're still sub.
No, I think that recently we've been running, the last 2 months we've been running like 74 to 82, 74 and 82 the last couple of months.
Okay, so let's say
Ish.
74. So that would be 150.
Let's say 150.
150. Okay,
Mhm.
so that's 7 and 80.
Okay, let ballpark 780.
So we're roughly where we're projecting revenue, roughly what we did this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it arguable there should be a boost? Yeah, I don't think it'd be a major boost, but it's arguable.
Well, I mean, it is a convention year,
Right.
so there should be additional revenue even from, I know we're going to have, or at least Mr. Ford has said, we're going to have our own merch store set up in the vending area. That should generate, I mean, is that going to make $100,000? Probably not, but it may make, 15 or 20 if everybody buys 2 t-shirts. Steven, you need some new t-shirts. Why don't you?
I need new wardrobe. And also fundraising at convention. But yeah, I mean, to the point, obviously our biggest liability is going to be convention. That needs to be a topic of discussion in a week. Where are we at with that and what our timeline and goals are going to be. And I think the LNC should establish specifically what our projections are going to be over the next 6 months from December. And also, discuss our income strategy going into next year with fundraising and the parity project and everything else. I will say one nice tinge of optimism is just, and I'm usually very pessimistic, so I take everything together. A lot of people have been reaching out to me that donated a lot of money in the past that are very interested to see what we're doing. We're reaching out to a lot of new people, and we haven't really even gotten started yet. So, we don't know, and I can't say for sure what our numbers are going to be once this project starts. We start the targeting. I know Ironlight has put a lot of the contacts in, and we're working on copy, and things are moving in that direction for fundraising, which is something that we really have just begun to do with the mailers and now this, which we haven't done for the majority of 2025. We didn't really do it all in 2024, 2023. We did a little bit of it in 2022. So there's a lot of opportunity for untapped income, I think, that we just haven't been exploiting, that we're going to be exploiting soon. What is that going to bring us? I don't know yet, but it's remained to be determined, and that's something that it's hard to put a number on when you're doing a budget. Because it's remained to be seen. Otherwise, all we can do proactively is look at what we can cut, if we need to cut it, when we need to cut it, and if there's anything else not bolted to the floor. But obviously, making money at this point is the main priority, and if we can save money, great. I mean, historical preservation, we're still paying $4,800 a year on. We're projected $6,000 this year. I think they need to do something about that storage unit. We can nickel and dime our way to a certain amount, but then you have to make big decisions if things hopefully don't get to that point. But this is something that I've been digesting since February, as to what do we need to do to continue to turn the ship around. Now, again, I'll reiterate that we have been positive some months. We want to be positive in many months in the future. That's our predicament. If we plan on deficit spending in 2026, which is realistically what we're going to have to do, then there's going to be a deficit till we turn things around. It's not a happy answer.
I don't think that the counting the Post-it notes of the 6,400 or 6,000 for the historical preservation for keeping that storage unit, that's not the thing that's going to break us. And it's not even if you add up all those little things, that doesn't get us to 240. And there's nothing in here that's not critical core services. Okay, we can cut staff. That's where we can get rid of the general fundraising expenses. This isn't, I don't think this is a budget where you go in. One thing we can cut is drop this travel and meetings down to 1. So figure 2026 December budget meeting. So you have the meeting pre-convention, which in post-convention, which doesn't count in this because they're already there and that's budgeted elsewhere. That's part of the convention. So if you just had 2020, if you just had the December budget meeting in person, then that's just 10 grand. That's a $20,000 savings,
And a lot of the general fundraising expense too is it's things we're fundraising for or have fundraised for. So I wouldn't expect us to blow 110,000 out the gate. That's something we can hopefully self-fund. And you're talking 20 grand for meetings.
Basically what I'm saying is this isn't hack and slash cut the budget. It's pretty thin.
Right.
This is, we need to figure out how to raise revenue. Because it's going to be worse if you're cutting a lot of these things. It's just going to be worse.
Yeah.
And you're going to have less revenue because you're operating at less capacity. So it does. It comes down to, we need to raise revenue. We need revenue enhancement programs. What are we doing to raise money? Who's out there raising money? What have we each brought in? What are we out there doing? What programs can work? I hated those letters that the party used to put out. I thought they were embarrassing, that it was like, we're going to have to fire Robert Kraus if we don't get X amount of money tomorrow. And in 2014, when I was on the LNC, I commented about it, and I was like, it's an embarrassment. I finally got my mother to join the party, and the first piece of letter she gets is that we're going to lose, that our electricity is going to be shut off at the national party unless she sends $10. And he was like, yeah, but it makes 35 grand. And I was like, oh. And then he showed the numbers from it, what we spent versus what we made, and it yeah. And I was like, oh, well, do one a week. But we're not doing anything like that anymore. We don't have the LP news in printed form. or in digital form. I think that if we had some sort of additional communications beyond email, we do a lot of stuff as email. But I can tell you from L2 data that we've looked at over the past couple of years, we as libertarians are more likely to respond to a mailer than an email. We're more likely to send money back that way than through an email. So I don't know. I think that that's the thing that we need to be focused on is revenue. How are we going to generate revenue? And the core part of that is, who do we have that's responsible for that, for making these proposals and making these ideas? That, like, who on our team is the specialist in that? I mean,
I would say Perry. When Perry did the first mailer, it made 40,000. The second one pretty much broke even around 6, but it was to the same list. And now we have more data, and we can also try new things. So we haven't been doing mailers, I think, since 2022. So the first one went out with a bang. We made a whole bunch of money. The second one, it was basically the same mailer, but I think maybe a little bit more people, actually. I take that back. It was basically the same thing, a few more people, a bigger list, because the first one was so successful. And Hannah could tell us exactly how much money the second one has made. But to your point, I think mailers traditionally have made a lot of money. And I remember those yellow pieces of paper that said the sky is falling, but they made a ton of money from those. Wes Benedict is going to be in Dallas, by the way, if we have questions. But Perry
actually,
Willis.
can you hit him up and ask him if he's got like a historical archive of those old letters?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe he can bring them and we can copy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's got them in digital form, that would be even better.
We could probably do both. I am gonna write that down. Okay.
But I think that's the focus for the next couple of months, needs to be, what revenue enhancing programs are we spinning up that have low cost to entry but can get us a good return? I don't want us to send $100,000 letter campaign that is heavy on the front end, that's only going to get us, a break-even point. That's not worth time. I think Mr. Watkins wants to say something.
Go ahead, Mr. Watkins.
No, I didn't want to say anything.
I just saw you unmute yourself.
I didn't mean to.
Okay. So I think that's the focus, is it needs to be, is what are we doing to increase revenue?
It has to be, and I'll say this too. We haven't had a fundraising person since Perry, who's I would consider a fundraising person. With the Parity Project, a lot of old names have come out. A lot of media's come out. So it's getting out to people that it needs to get out to. We've had people show up to meetings that are just getting re-engaged. We're cleaning up our list. So we were only contacting like 25,000 people before, and now we're contacting something like 250,000. And that number is going to probably triple pretty soon, maybe quadruple, depending on how the data cleanup goes. And then we're going to have more information on people so we'll be able to target them better. And so then we're also going to be doing the advertising on social media, the advertising via text, email, and then finally mailers. So the relationship that we have with Ironlight is really the key of upending our financial situation and getting the messaging we want out to the people we need to get it to as cost effectively as possible. And I'm sure there'll be some A/B testing and some experimentation, but whatever we can try and do, that's and hopefully within the next month or so, we should be started on that. Mr. Dar, go ahead.
Yeah, we haven't had a dedicated fundraiser in some time, and Stephen knows that's one of those things I keep looking for and keep wanting. I know I have I feel we've left a lot of potential fundraising money on the table, even with this upcoming meeting where we have a fundraiser night. And if we had somebody dedicated to working on that, they could have developed some opportunities there that would have expanded our fundraising capabilities, even just at a one-time event. Just trying to find that individual that's in the right price point for us that can earn back more than their keep. as it were, is an important aspect there that can also guide our membership retention and recruitment there. I don't quite, I need to check with staff again on what our journeys are for retention, because I don't think we need to fine tune that a little bit more. As far as I know in the past, there was like a 7-letter type message that went on that would lead up to when somebody's renewal is going to happen, and then post renewal time to help engage that retention. Steps like that need to happen, and as I've talked to others, that we can definitely up our game, as it were, in membership development and recruitment if we get the right person in there to help guide it.
And also, if anybody here in the XCOM wants to join me, I have a meeting with Andy and Sergio next week to discuss a few things. I think it's on Tuesday. I think it's like at 1 o'clock. I'll tell you right now. No, I'm sorry. It's something else. Monday at 4:25 Eastern. So if anybody on the XCOM wants to join me on that meeting, let me know if you want to be a fly on the wall or have any questions for Ironline.
Send me the details.
Got it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Are there any other questions, comments, discussion on this? All right, well, if there's no further, then we'll take this to a vote. And if it passes, we'll discuss further in Dallas. This isn't a final motion. This is just a proposal. So Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready.
Chair Nikela,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dark.
Yes.
Wrong ones. Treasurer Redpath.
Yes.
I will vote yes. Mr. Ford is not here. Mr. Watkins.
Abstain.
Mr. Chair, the vote total is 4 yes, 0 no, and 1 abstention.
Motion passes. All right, well, that concludes our business for this morning. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a
Objection.
second?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All right. Any objection to adjournment? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Thanks. Bye.
10:42.
Thank you, everybody.
The